What's up, all you beautiful nerds? I would like to talk about TwoEDC's Titanium Triangle V2. I've had this thing for a little bit because I wanted to get more of a sense of it. I didn't want to just unbox it and, love it right away and then, change my opinion later. So, have had it for a few weeks, been fiddling with it a lot, and I think I've got figured out, what I like and don't like. So let's talk about it. So it comes in this nice little bag, a little note from Samuel Roscoe. Probably hands down the best little pouch I've ever got for a Fidget to go in. It's very pretty. And then just a little, COA card. Simple, easy. So, right away, this thing has some major improvements over the V1 triangle. Never had a V1 triangle, but I don't know, I can tell just by looking at it. One of the things is that the chamfer edge is a bit more pronounced, so it's more comfy, and then the buttons are way comfier. Buttons on the old one used to just be these flat, totally flat, minimalistic kind of thing going on, and then these have these lines grooved in there. Just a lot easier to hold on to, right? And play with. So that being said, I think I have this problem with spinners. I don't know if it's like a mental condition or something like that, but I can't seem to keep stock buttons on any of my spinners. I just don't like stock buttons on it for some reason. I think it's because I just like buttons with a much wider thickness to come out, because I don't like the spinner to be that close to my fingers kind of thing when I'm spinning it. So to be honest with you, I got it and I played with it a little bit, and then I switched it out to these buttons. So these buttons, great, come with it. These are titanium as well. They are machine finished titanium, but the body of this, look, check out this stone wash they got going on here. Isn't that great? I love it. I think that everything should be stone washed, at least stone washed, like never machine finished, just stone washed everything. I don't really understand why people like machine finish. Doesn't make sense to me. It just kind of looks unfinished to me. So yeah, stone wash on that is great. Buttons, more to be desired, but mainly it's just the profile of them, the thickness, and it's just a personal thing. Some people are gonna love it. Me, can't do it. So I took them off. So I'm going to take them off now because check out how cool these look on here. Oh, before I put it on, the bearing, awesome. It's a hybrid ceramic 10 ball in there. It is, I feel no need to change this bearing out. I love changing bearings out as well as buttons, and this, no, it's great. It's just it's quiet, but it's got that little glassy thrum, if you will, going on. When you put it up to your ear, you can hear it, or if it's in a quiet room, it's just very, very, very serene, very relaxing. A lot that could be said a lot for this spinner. It's a very relaxing spinner. So that's been a lot of fun. Instantly, the grip is easier for me. Just having that, just being able to hold it more like that, and spin around, not have it hit my fingers and stuff, unless I want it to. So what I was saying about relaxing is that it's kind of because it barely exists, right? It's titanium. It's so light. Basically too light for me, to really, really love it. Let me just show you here. So it's advertised as with the buttons on, about 40 grams, I think it was, for the for the buying when we were all buying them. So body, 28.5 grams, and then throwing the buttons on there, 39.8. So almost 40, basically 40. All right, and then one reason I found that I need to put the buttons on is because that center of gravity on, you know, if you just want to have on your finger there, it's not enough for it to really like sit there and like, you know, kind of hang out on your finger, right? So adding like these buttons are copper from 313 Inc., the Melier buttons. Those are 34 grams right on their own, right? So it just gave it more of a center of gravity, right? And helped me personally enjoy the spinner a lot more. And that in turn helped me figure out some of its really cool little secrets. I mean, they're not really, you know, secret, but they were secret to me, okay? You know, I didn't know yet. So, yeah, it's more fun with that, I think, right? It's got more, it's thicker and, you know, easier to flick around. It's great. I don't know, I think it looks kind of badass too. You put whatever buttons you want on. It fits the fits Motorsporks buttons too. It's just your standard 1-inch, like, or I think it's called. I think they always say it's 24.9 millimeters. Basically, they're trying to say it's an inch. You know, I think an inch, if my carpenter brain remembers, is 24.5 millimeters is an inch converted into metric there. So. What else? So this thing is it's a bit of a warp machine. Okay, so I'll show you a couple videos that I took of warps. One of the first ones was I think I took it out right after I got it, and there was like just a little bit of sun left, a little bit of dapple of sun coming over this this fence that's near my building, and you know, it's sunset, and I was like, oh god, get one more little shred of sun to try to warp it in, and it worked, right? Just held it up in the sun and instantly it warped. So, you know, that was fun, just seeing that it warped, you know, that whole triangle shape into that, you know, mushy sort of weird, you know, I don't know. It's cool, right? So the other thing is that this goes so fast because it's so light that it can easily enter 2 warp zones per spin. So what I mean by that is that the reason you see a fidget spinner warping on camera is because you have to set your, first of all, your camera speed lower, like 30 FPS is what works. If you have it at like 60 FPS, not really going to work. It's the shutter speed's too fast, and it's able to continue to catch, you know, the spinner as it looks to you with the naked eye. But if you have it at 30 FPS, there are certain points within the spinner's spin where the frame rate matches the speed of the spin. So, like I was saying, for direct sunlight, 30 FPS, that's what makes it work. Don't exactly know the science behind the sunlight. I imagine it just needs really good lighting. So what I noticed is that since it spins so fast, like I was saying, 2 warp zones. So that means that it's hitting a high-speed warp zone where it's spinning really fast, but it's still matching your frame rate. And then it goes out of that frame rate and goes back into just, you know how you see it to the naked eye. And then if you wait and you're patient, it comes back all the way around and goes into a lower spin warp as well. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, that being said, even with the warps and stuff, the weight, it's just too light for me. But I know there's a lot of people that love titanium spinners, so, you know, you're gonna love this thing. This thing's so fidgety. Like, even though it's too light for me, I did give it a very, very good chance and, you know, play with it a lot. And another thing I figured out that I can't do with any other of my spinners is that you've probably been seeing me do it, you know, just now, is that this thing is like the flick fucking master. Absolutely. Like, I didn't figure it out until what did I do? It was the first night I had it, and I had a weed gummy, and I went out and walked the dogs, and was just like walking along, you know, getting a little bit stoned and kind of zoning out on this thing. And then I realized, oh my God, these new little machining grooves right here are flicking The V1 did not have those. So it's all about putting your finger in it and then flicking like that. And it is so freaking satisfying. It is as satisfying, I will say, as imagine you're in your car, and I'll just use the example of like a wasp because I hate wasps. So imagine it flies in, and it's that time of season when wasps are like all like dopey and just don't really know what's going on, and they're like, "Well, dude, I just woke up, and like, oh my god, like, who are you? Like, do you have any sweet stuff? I'm gonna sting you." And you can just do whatever you want to them, right? They're like just helpless, and it's right there on your dash, and you're like, "Oh god, I hate wasps. I don't want you around." So you just take your finger and you just get it lined up right with that bug, and you just flick it, and you just get that satisfying, like, oh, I just flicked like the worst bug. I hate you so much. It's as satisfying as that every single time, over and over and over again. It's so good. Because it's so light, you can flick it into warps. I bet you could flick it into both warp zones. I think I did that once. I can't remember, but I think you could flick it into a double warp zone just with a flick. And then the pull, you're still going to get faster. You're still going to feel more of that gyro effect. But the flick is where it's at with this thing. Absolutely, hands down. It is like flick machine. Can't do it with any of the other spinners that I have. I don't have a lot of tri-spinners, so maybe that's more of a tri-spinner thing. But yeah, weight doesn't do it for me, just because you don't get as much of that gyro effect, going around with weightier spinners. But yeah, it's a nice little thing. I will be anxiously waiting to see if Samuel wants to do one in tungsten, because I feel like with its size, this thing only has a 2-inch. It has a 2-inch, what's the word I'm trying to say? Spin diameter, right? So you have a 1-inch radius, which is half the circle. So that means that the full circle, the diameter, is 2 inches. So when this thing's spinning, that right there, that blur, it's a 2-inch blur. There you go, guys. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I will, I'll put links, in the description as always for places you might be able to find it. I know that it was a very, very, very limited run of the titanium. Apparently just got it. Like Samuel said I was like the second to last one or something like that. And I thought I was so quick with the order form too. So shocked I got it. There we go. The Triangle V2 in titanium by 2EDC. Very lovely little spinner. Okay. Cheers, nerds. Have a spinny, spinny, spinny rest of your day.